But if you're wondering where I've been discouraged. She's still leaking brake fluid. I'm gonna have to take the repair a little bit more seriously. I decided it's time to put her on the stand. I got this from Harbor Freight 2 or 3 years ago. It's not the greatest construction in the world, but for about 270 bucks, it's saved me a lot of backache. So from that standpoint, if you don't have one and you've got the room, I recommend it. Try to strap her down when I know she's going to be up on the rack for more than a day or two. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take another stab at figuring out this leak I have. It hasn't leaked very much. It's amazing how little can come out and make such a huge mess. But I'm just beside myself. I can't trace it down. It should be obvious. It's not. So I'm going to take my time, and there's a lot of things I want to do to get ready for the larger trip. Tomorrow I'll adjust the valve clearance. You can only do that when it's cold, and I've been riding her today. She's still warm. I got a ram mount up there for a GPS. I'm going to put a cradle for my nav 5. What else am I going to do? Just a general cleanup. I found a few odds and ends. The bolt that holds the saddle mounts together is loose. Kind of surprised me, so I'll have to replace that. Just clean her up. I mean, oh, she does look good. She's grimy. I mean, it is Grimes World production. So we'll see what we can do to make her look better. I guess you get to watch this happen again. My repetitive YouTube videos, maybe it's good that you guys had a break from me, since I have to do everything twice. Here's what I like about magnetic tank bags. It's stuck. I rode to breakfast this morning, and I was with a friend. We were riding down Lloyd Expressway, and he took off for me a little bit, and I followed suit, and all of a sudden the engine started running funny, and I'm like, uh-oh. Then I looked down at my odometer, and it said 200 miles. Whoops, that cock was still on. So what it was, you could see it was in the reserve position. I just turned it down. I was out of gas. I hit the reserve. Everything's fine. I didn't realize it was on. I'd ridden so far since my last pull up. Smell like gas today. It's okay. So the tank should be close to empty. I like to set the tank here on this chair. I don't know if it's in frame, it doesn't matter. It's just kind of a good place. Oh, it's so much easier to handle when it's empty. All right. gotta be honest, I still can't tell where the oil is coming from. As much as I lost, it should be obvious. Unless it's not brake fluid. I know it's not. It's not transmission oil. Well, I'm kind of back to square one. What I repaired last week is all completely dry. Every junction, the brake is still tight. But some oil that is not engine oil, it's very clean and light oil, is dripping from this bike. Slowly, but enough to be concerning. And it seems like it can only be the transmission oil by where it's coming from, but the last time I checked, it was totally topped off. So the leak must just be annoyingly slow and consistent, that it always drips in the same place and create a little bit of a pool. As you can see, it was a streak about 3 feet from the bike all the way out to the garage. So we'll just examine it a little more closely. When I got Lucille, this was her headlight. Well, this was her headlight bezel. Not quite round like this one. So I installed this one, but it comes with a price. There's the price. Let's just say that those wires are crammed in there. It's as good a job as I could do on my R75 that is natural from the factory. All those lines just go in there and fit in place, and there's actually a lot of room. And no matter how many times I've retried this, I just have a nest. You know, mysterious oil leak aside, the only mechanical issue I've had with this bike was a starting issue, and it was the starter relay. It partially worked. I thought it was bad contacts up here on those two fuses, because occasionally I'd pop the headlight and screw with those fuses and it'd start, but I ordered this from I forgot where I ordered it from, and it fixed the problem. Starts every time. So I took the headlight off because I am going to mount myself a GPS. I'm running out of time today. I got other things to do, but I can at least get started on that. Get the parts out, find out what I'm going to need. I have to get some screws. So here's my GPS setup. This mount is from a 2015 R1200 GS. It was an extra, and it has two connectors. This one with 3 prongs. It has the power. This one is a freaking mystery. Nobody can tell me what it does. It's unhooked in my current bike. It's just flopping there. There's no place to plug it in. And the people I've asked on the internet don't have any answers for me, and I got tired of trying to figure it out. So anyhow, I've got it. It's going up there. So what I got to do here is I got to ram mount it. So I've already got a ram mount, and then I've got the adapter plate, and it should just match to that. So what do we got to do? We got to go get some bolts to bolt that up. We'll just kind of do the this is my old Zumo 660. It's a great unit. I always wear polarized sunglasses, and a friend of mine pointed out, because I was complaining about how dim it was, it's like, well, are you wearing polarized sunglasses? And I said, well, yes. And he said, well, there's your problem. So it works great in the car. I can just lift my sunglasses up and see it. So let me get over here. I'm going to put this in situ. So he'll ride right about like that. Yep, I'm happy with that. Go get some bolts. Okay folks, so here's what I did. Here's my Nav 6 cradle off 2015 BMW GS R1200 GS. Here were the original connectors. Most people would have cut them off here. I cut it off here. I just did a snip, and my 4-year bachelor's degree in electronics tells me that black and red are the only two things we need, and I did verify that. I tested out. I popped these on the battery and used my old Garmin 660, and it fired right up. So when I cut this, I left enough here that if I ever needed to wire it back up, I can. It's just 5 wires, it's no big deal. A little solder and heat shrink, and it's good as new. It's never going back on a modern bike again, so I'm not worried about it. This is airhead material from here on out. So I went to Menards and I bought a care pack. Let's see if this is going to work out. One of these. Just dump a few out. There we go. So through here. No, I want to do it this way. Through here, a washer. These are stainless steel, by the way. And to finish it off, oh no! I only bought just enough. Oh, I think that was just a washer. We're okay. And a nut. These are the kind that don't come loose. 4mm coarse thread. Should be able to get a tiny socket on that, hold it in, and bring this down. So let's continue on. I don't want to overdo it. These are in rubber mounts and they can pull through right here. So we're just going for a nice snug fit. Job done. So this is how this is going to work out. The ram mount, the ball has been mounted there forever because I used to have a 550 on here. Let's just take this off, loosen it up, pop it on, and tighten it. How's that looking? didn't frame the shot very well when I set the camera. That's okay. I think you guys get the picture. This goes into the headlight bezel. That little rubber grommet in the headlight bezel, that's where the wire is going to go through. I'm not going to show that because focusing on it is nearly impossible. I'm amazed I've got it to focus, but I'm holding the camera and it's a two-hand job. So we'll follow up when I get it through. Here we are on the other side. There are my two wires. So BMW, brown is ground. There's a brown bank down here, and hopefully, yep, there is a spot for me to tap in. The difficult part for me is usually finding a keyed positive. So I'll work that out. I mean, I've got the wiring diagram over there, but on one of my other bikes, I just wired it to the battery, and that's not the way to go. You want this thing to only come on when it's keyed. You don't want the battery run down on your Garmin or your Nav 5, as I'm going to use. This was the board, the original board in this bike before the crash. It survived really well, so I've got a spare. This was in that bezel I showed you earlier that was folded in half. So I got these guys. These are going to be my connectors that go on the these wires. So I just want to make sure that they're fit. So yeah, that's a fit. Now I know these, I got turn signals and other things. I've got the wiring diagram up on the wall here. I'm going to have to go to the wiring diagram, and I will try to find where on the board I need to put the positive. Also, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a Sharpie and I'll make one of these black, since they're both red. I don't want to, it's not like I'm going to get confused, but I just wanted to little touch. So I'm going to go to paint this, and then I am going to find out where to put the red. I want to go red. There's red right there. 30. We'll see what 30 is on my wiring diagram. So I made a good guess. 30 goes to the ignition key. So I'll show you what I got here. First of all, I painted my connector black. Second of all, I need to verify that it is a keyed voltage. So what I'm going to do is take my meter here, we're going to put it on voltage. So I know that the ground is down here, and then I'm hoping, yes, oh no, it reads 12 volts, so that's not going to work. It will not work. Back to the drawing board. I'll see what the other options are. I'm electing to tap in right here. This is the flasher relay. I think this is where the power comes in. It comes across here, and this is where it feeds out. So it'll be on this side of the fuse. Here's the deal. I think it works okay, but what I think it does is it cuts power when I do turn on a turn signal. I think I've been down this route before, but I think this is the only route I got without doing something more complicated. So I'm going to wire it up and test it and see if I can live with it. Alright folks, thanks for sticking with me. Here's the moment of truth. Got it all wired up. I have not tested it, or at least not in the bike. This is the first time I've had this connector hooked it up to the Nav 5. I'm going to turn on the ignition, and if this is all wired up correctly, that screen will come to life. Turning the key on now. There we go. Now, since I wired it into the switcher, I want to see what happens when I turn the turn signal on. Nothing. That's good. And nothing. This will work. Now, when I turn the switch off, we should get the power disconnected message. Key off now. Ah! The modern touch, the old airhead.